ready for food, Fred? Hello, Oklahoma. I don't know if we've had Oklahoma viewers. I mean, I'm sure we have, but I don't know if Oklahoma viewers have announced themselves before. So I was trying to figure out what I can do about making the bowl shallower in the automatic feeder for Fred, and this thing can fit, but it's really tiny. So I feel like Aaron learned how to pronounce your name months ago. I thought it was Aline. Is it Aline? Aline? So I feel like if I could find something that's slightly as shallow, like as short as this, but a little bit wider, that could fit, that would be so good for him, because then we could just put the plops of food in the bowl itself and then put the bowl in the automatic feeder, and that would just make it easier for him a little bit. I'm gonna put the automatic feeder on the plate so that we elevate it. And I'm also gonna try to flow vid him now, because I feel like at night he gets a little like pissed, more so than in the daytime. So we're gonna do a mushy mush. Are we ready for some therapy talk today? Cause I think I have some shit to talk about. Like, if y'all are, Fred, that's my foot. You just clawed my foot again. Thank God we trimmed your nails a couple of weeks ago. Every time I trim his nails, I'm afraid to trim too deep. And I end up taking just like 1 millimeter off, which is hardly anything. But maybe as I do it more often, I'll get bolder with the cuts. So I'm gonna feed Fred, and then I'm gonna take a pee break while you guys look at him eat, and then I'll come back and I'll talk about my sensitivity and my oversensitivity. Aaron, it's not like rough talk, but it's more about how I can't really take criticism from those close to me without turning it into like even when they don't mean it as criticism, I end up taking it as criticism, and then I get really defensive about it, and it's just kind of talking through that. So I don't think it's like heavy subject matter. It's more of just like why am I such a sensitive, defensive person? Whipping aquafaba is much like whipping egg whites, but I find that it's a little bit less stable, and if you're doing a lot of folding actions, it won't really maintain that structure that egg whites will. So it does work, it just won't work as well as egg whites will. But I'm amazed at how much aquafaba can mimic egg whites. I have to give you Flovent first, buddy. I'm sorry. my drug experience, like my illegal drug experience, or just like taking prednisone at the age of 9 because of my kidney condition? I'm guessing you're asking about illegal drug activity. Which I've only done weed. I've only done marijuana. I haven't even spoken a cigarette, like a tobacco cigarette. I've only done it once in my dream. And even in my dream, I was like, oh shit, someone's coming. Let me fan the room real fast so that they don't discover me smoking a cigarette. If anybody watched my chickpea 2-part episode, I also tried to make aquafaba meringue, and it did set, but it did not keep well overnight. It like softened overnight. So if you make aquafaba meringue, make sure you eat it the same day. I also keep feeling bumps, random like pimply bumps on his back. Does anybody know? Should I be sensitive about that? Should I get it checked out? Aaron's like, you're worried about everything. 1. Hey. 2. It's okay. 3. Good boy. You have to come back. You have to come back if you want to get fed. Come on back. Good boy. Whoa, Matt hiss. Hey. It's okay. 4, 5, okay. 6, okay. 7, one more. Good boy. Good boy. That was a very exciting hiss. I don't know if you guys heard that. Yo, Flint, what's up? Is your water hell over yet, or are you guys still stuck with completely undrinkable, unusable water? Like, what's going on, Flint? Tell us all about it. Let's see if this works, shall we? I peered into his pimply spot, and it looked like it had a little bit of dandruff going on, so I feel like it's not just a mole. We did find another spot along his neck a while back, but I think it's disappeared. It could just be that he has pimples, you know? I feel like cats do get pimples too, probably. I mean, just the other day, I got a pimple along my hairline, and it was fucking gross. It was so big. I popped it. It was so disgusting. Is this better, Fred? Is this a better eating experience for you? It's elevated on the plate, and it has a little bowl inside so that it stays in the center. Yo, pimples inside the nose are the worst. Okay, before we get into serious talk, I'm gonna go pee. A bath might help with Fred's skin, you know, it might, but he really hates them. How's it going, Fredo? Is everything everything you dreamed of? Oh, that's Morgan. That's very interesting. Maybe he did scratch himself with his sharp nails before we got to clipping it. One more good reason for me to not procrastinate on clipping his nails. Thanks for that perspective. Wow. Aaron, that is a fantastic update. I'm so happy to hear that. Do you want a refill, Fred? Here. A little refill for you. Oh my God. How many years has it been since we found out about Flint's water supply being tainted? I guess they're just not going to fix it ever. Ooh, hello Canadian and Korea. How fun. Do you like Korea? What is your favorite food that you've eaten that you would miss so much if you left Korea today? Jay Godsey, thanks for that. I've been trying to do more brushing on the daily basis with him by giving him crushed up treats to keep him in place. Normally he bats my hand away, so I stopped it for a while, but I'm thinking especially with his asthma and everything else, it's probably a better idea for me to try to keep grooming him. So I'm just going to keep bribing him with treats. Ooh, kimchi jjigae, okay. See, I don't even have a human hairbrush, but maybe I should get one. A little water, sir? I also like that you're being entertained by watching a cat eat. It makes my job so much easier. So Lauren, this is an auto feeder for wet dry food. I think it works much better with dry food because the ice pack that it comes with is pretty small, and I don't even know if it's gonna last like 24 hours to keep
It doesn't. It only says it lasts 6.
It only lasts 6?
Yeah.
Shit. How is that supposed to work for us being gone a whole day?
Cats are apparently sensitive to when food is spoiled, and they won't eat it if it's spoiled.
So we're just relying on the fact that the food won't be spoiled in the middle of summer?
Yeah.
Oh no. Fred, come here. He's still leaving some food in there. I guess he really just can't reach the last bit. Psst, 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 psst. Fredo. Freddy. Here. You don't want more food, bud? But I made it for you. I made the food. Yeah, the feeder is kind of deep for him, unfortunately. Even this bowl is kind of deep. He's really struggling with getting the last bit. I have to like feed him by hand to get him to eat it all. So. So yeah, about the sensitive thing. My mom just saw the walking video that you all just saw about an hour ago, if you watched the premiere. And like, I just saw your video. Do you have time for a Zoom chat today? I'm home all day, and you know, I had a feeling that it was about the video, but I also thought she just wanted to check in because it's, you know, been a couple of weeks since we talked on Zoom. So I called her, and like, she just, the first thing she goes into is, I saw the video. Is it possible that you don't walk down those streets by yourself? There's literally no one else on those streets. And I'm like, Mom, I've been walking those streets for 2 years by myself. Like, why do you, every time you call, you have to tell me what to do with my life? And I'm 32. I feel like at a certain point, I can choose what to do with my life. And she's like, why is it every time you always turn someone's comments into a demand? I'm not demanding that you do it, I'm just suggesting that you do it. And I'm like, but Mom, like, you do this all the time for decades on end, where you propose these so-called suggestions and you just want me to do things your way. And then I started getting very defensive about it, and she's like, well, you're doing that thing again where you talk for, you know, 10 minutes and the other person hasn't gone to talk for another minute. And the reason why I bring this up with you guys is my mom's not the only person to give me this feedback. Aaron also gives me this feedback. So now I'm thinking, well, maybe there is something wrong with me, and maybe I am too sensitive, and maybe I am taking people's mere suggestions as a very kind of a tacky demand, command, or prescription. So hi, Fred. Sitting on your scale again, buddy? You like sitting on your scale? And I'm like, Mom, I know you mean the best for me, but at a certain point, it like really makes me unhappy when I know that everything that I do will trigger some sort of response in you where you turn on your motherly instincts and you start telling me what I shouldn't be doing. Or rather, what I should be doing, because then she started giving me ideas. She's like, well, instead of doing these walks where, you know, I read your description and it sounded like you weren't feeling great looking at this footage on these lonely streets where nobody else is, like, what if you just did more videos with Fred? I'm sure people would love more Fred. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I know people love Fred, and I post photos of Fred all the time on my Instagram. And she's like, yeah, you put it on Instagram, but you don't put it on YouTube. And I'm like, Mom, who puts photos on YouTube? Like, YouTube is the place for video. But like, you know, it's not just my mom. Like, I just had a interaction before that call with Aaron where I was like, what if we started filming the places that we eat at in New York, and I made more videos kind of like showing off the food that we eat in New York? And he's like, yeah, can you try vlogging it this time, like try actually reviewing the food instead of just capturing the visual and not talking about it at all. And I'm just like, okay, don't tell me what to do. Like, just let me do what I do. Like, if you want to do it differently and do it on your own, and you can do what you want to do. So I kind of spiraled into that same defensive place again. So I'm just trying to figure out, one, why I am this sensitive, two, if I'm justified in being this sensitive, three, if it's healthy for me to be this sensitive, probably not, I already know the answer to three, and four, what I want to do differently going forward if I no longer want to be this sensitive about stuff. But mostly I'm intrigued about why this triggers such a sensitive, kind of defensive mechanism in me. I mean, Gab Alex, that's exactly what my mom is saying. My mom is saying that I never listen to her and I misunderstand her, that she's not actually telling me what to do, but I think that she is dictating my life. But at a certain point, it's like, Mom, you tell me all the time, like, maybe it is a language barrier, I don't know, maybe it's a cultural thing too. She'll like tell me it's cold today, wear more, or it's hot today, like, whatever, and then if I'm on my period, she'll be like, don't eat ice cream, don't put ice in your drinks, and I'm just like, but can I just live my life, please? By the way, I boiled some toasted barley tea, which is what I'm pouring into my thermos right now. It probably is because I feel like I'm always right about something, not necessarily in the objective way, but in the subjective way where I just want to do what I want to do. Like, I want to have control over what I do with my life. And maybe that comes out of a place of like earlier on in my childhood where I was a foreigner, I didn't speak the language, I had no idea what kind of context I was being thrown into, and I had absolutely no control about how I went about my day, how to navigate my world, how others responded to me, how others treated me. And so now I just want like control over everything. That's completely possible. That would be like the straightest line of psychoanalysis we could possibly jump to. Yeah, I mean, GMG, I feel like, I think that's the direction that I have to start turning into too. I do feel like it's a cultural thing. I don't know. Maybe being raised in an American setting where people value independence and personal choice so much, and then coming from a background with Chinese parents who show care in this kind of like, from an American perspective, a very like micromanagey way, it gives me very mixed signals that I don't know what to do with. And I've lost the ability to speak both languages of care in non-verbal ways. I definitely don't want to be parented, but yes, she definitely still is taking the role of a parent, for sure. But again, it's not just a dynamic that I witnessed between my mom and me, it's also a dynamic that I witnessed with other people close to me too, like Aaron. So, it does go beyond the cultural barrier that I was speaking about. I mean, hell, that too. Like, I do feel like when I was young, I had a lot of autoimmune kidney conditions that were very serious and potentially life-threatening, and I think my mom developed a sort of like overly caring, overly protective way of handling me to ensure that I survived, and I think, I guess that experience was probably traumatic for both of us in different ways, and she's still carrying on that mode of being with me, and I'm still reacting to what I perceived of as, even though she was protecting me, her controlling me. Like, she wouldn't even let me run across the street when I had that kidney condition because she felt like it would just be like too motion me for my kidneys to like just be thumped around while I ran. The validity of that, I don't know, but that's just kind of like what I grew up around. Barley tea, you buy like toasted barley, and you just, I don't know if I make it right, but I just boil it in water, or I steep it in boiling water like you would make tea. This is not from Harney and Sons, this is just in a Harney and Sons container. I got this from a Korean store in a huge package. Lots of comments coming through. And Brie Elder, yes, I know she just cares about me. I know she's my mom. I know she loves me. I know it's coming out of a good place, but it's like really tiring for me to field it all the time because it sounds like criticism to me. When she tells me, can you not do this again, it makes me feel like I made a mistake. I think that triggers a feeling of failure or an inadequacy in me. I think maybe that's what hurts. And the fact that I'm kind of tearing up about it, I think that's getting closer to the truth too. I feel like for instance, let's get specific, right? Because that's how you like kind of dig at the truth, is if you get specific. Like, Aaron and I were just talking about going to a place, going there to eat, and I was like, oh, what if I get recording of it? At first I said, what if we went live at the restaurant? And then I was like, wait, no, I want more experience working with DaVinci and cutting video clips, so what if I just filmed it? And then he said, try vlogging it today. Which sounds like an imperative sentence to me. It's a command. I think I would have reacted differently if he said, how would you feel about vlogging it today? Or, do you want to try to vlog it today? But the fact that the sentence structure came out as a command made me feel defensive. So I think it's tangential to what I was just talking about in my interaction with my mom, but I think they're connected. It's the feeling of like being ordered around and hearing that command be something other than what I wanted to do, and then taking that kind of discrepancy and interpreting it as a personal failure of my personal choice. Like I chose the wrong thing to do. They're telling me to do something else because I chose the wrong thing to do. I think that also is a huge component to how I act so defensively. The issue is you're prejudging the intentions of those statements and then reacting based on that. Yes, I completely agree. Which isn't necessarily your fault because it's your experience in receiving, but it's good to keep in mind. I fully agree with that, Wuplot. It's not really, my mom doesn't have a confrontational tone. Aaron kind of just has like a stagnant, permanent tone. I feel like a lot of the times when I have clashes or arguments with Aaron, it's because I perceive his way of speaking to be filled with a certain confidence that isn't always backed up in reality. And I get angry when you try to pass off confidence in an area that you don't actually possess knowledge in. So I think Erin and my mom take different tones. My mom's tone is always worried. She's always worried. And she's always like, can you not do that? Because I'm scared. Like, that's her tone. But I think Wu Plot is right. Like, Wu Plot basically said what my mom told me on the call, which is I'm judging her in a way that isn't at all her intention, and I'm kind of just like taking a completely different interpretation and a very hurtful one where she intended no hurt. So, and Mie Collin said, doesn't sound like a command to me, sounds just like a suggestion, and Erin would agree with you. Erin said it's just a suggestion, but the way I took it, in combination with his tone, and the way that I'm predisposed to being sensitive about these things, I took it as like a command. And that's what really just triggered me. My mom is very good at projecting her fears onto me. She's always afraid that I'm gonna get kidnapped, something's gonna happen to me, I'm gonna get sick with COVID. My mom has a lot of fears. She is a woman of fears. And yes, Suzuku, she is going to always look out for me, but because she has so many fears, the fact that she has those fears and she's going to keep looking out for me means that I get fatigue. I get fatigue from her constant fears being passed off to me. I don't want to live in fear. Having grown up with my mother, I've been also trained to live in fear because that was just the status quo. That was her baseline. And so a lot of her has already become integrated in me. And that is a part of myself that has integrated into me that I want to now segregate and potentially try to eliminate slowly. Because it hurts to live in constant fear. And it's really hard to start trimming that part of myself away from me when she's constantly here to remind me of those same fears that I'm trying to cancel. I think an Asian person, maybe a woman, reached out to me through Instagram DM a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago, and she was like, I don't know how you do all these long walks alone. I'm so scared to go out because of the recent increase in hate crimes against Asian people. And I responded to her and I was just like, I can't live my life in fear. I have to go out and walk because you just have to do what you have to do. And I mean, you have to choose in the moment what brings you more happiness, fulfillment, joy, and what uplifts you more. And for me, being stuck home is so hard, and going outside is the only time that I get to kind of escape myself a little bit. And so I told her, I take a walk, I go into places that I'm not familiar with, I might be scared, but I still want to have that adventure because bad things are gonna happen in the world. No matter what I do, I can't stop bad things from happening. And so I can only do what I can do to bring myself the most happiness in that moment. And if that means taking a walk, then I'm gonna take it. And if bad things happen to me on that walk, then that's out of my control. And I can't factor that possibility in because I don't know the probability of it. It's just a possibility, and everything is possible in this world. So And Aaron, I don't know if you hopped out. I'm sorry I started crying or if it got too heavy for you. But these are, this is the way therapy goes, I guess. You just, one thing slides into the next because they're all kind of connected. But, yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. But, it's really hard to balance wanting to have control over your life and also acknowledging at the same time that you really don't have control a lot of the time. I want to also Feed Your Head said check out Enneagram. Your mom sounds like a type 6. I don't know if there's any Chinese versions of Enneagrams out there. I would love for her to take it because the Enneagram has been the most accurate personality test I've ever taken, and I would be so intrigued to find out her personality type, but unfortunately she is very not fluent in English, and I do not want to translate all of those questions for her, although that would be a very nice bonding activity. I think I don't want to antagonize my mom. I don't want to antagonize Aaron. Obviously, I don't want to antagonize myself, but I think in my current state, I do all three. And so talking about this is my way of trying to like climb out of antagonizing everyone in my life who's close to me. So I don't think my mom is condescending. I truly think my mom is just acting and speaking out of a place of fear. It's not something that I don't think she's capable of detaching herself from, but I want to detach myself from it. I don't know if I talked about this with you guys or with my mom on a Zoom call, but there's I think it was with you guys. The first therapist that I ever saw, I took one thing away from her, and her key thought for me was that I have to separate my mom's anxieties from my own. And I'm quite a few years down from that therapy session, I'm finally starting to try to enact that and put that into practice. But obviously I'm still struggling with it because even in trying to detach myself from my mom's anxieties, I'm antagonizing my mom. She ended the call because she was like, well, obviously we can't seem to communicate anymore. And I know that I hurt her with my words. I know she seemed hurt. I just don't know how to do it any other way. It's still a very sore spot. It's like an open wound. So it's very difficult to navigate yourself and your relationship with another person at the same time and trying to do the best thing for both of you. It's a lot. Yes, Lori says, sounds like she's depending on you doing what she wants so that she feels safe. I feel like that is a large part of it. Absolutely. And I told her, during the call, when I could sense that she was hurt and when she wanted to end the call, I was like, you can end the call if you want. You can stay on the call if you want. And she was like, no, obviously I'm upsetting you, and you said that all of my constant worrying is making you unhappy. And I said, yes, that's my reaction. I can't really help that reaction right now. And your reaction of worrying for me is also a reaction that you can't help. And I acknowledge that. And I also acknowledge that our relationship is currently, unfortunately, in terms of communication, just a lot of disagreement and arguing, but that is our relationship, and I don't want to see that as unhealthy. In fact, I see that as a valid relationship, because even though it is filled with disagreement, it is still us communicating with each other and trying to figure out how to navigate having a relationship. Not all relationships are going to be fairy tale perfect. And that's what I told her. And I said that, and she was like, maybe the best thing for me is to not reach out to you and not have these calls, because these calls always stress you out. And I was like, no, like, I think you're like 60 something now, I'm 30 something now. I think it's time for you to like do what makes you happy. And if what makes you happy is worrying about me and then telling me about how you worry about me on these calls, even though you saying how you worry about me and your suggestions for me to do safer things won't necessarily change how I act. If that brings you happiness, then keep doing it. I have no problem having arguments with you, because this is just the way that we communicate. Like, for a long time, I would say for 10 years at least, I struggled with the fact that every time I met up with my mom, we would get into these arguments where she would tell me what to do and I would be like, no, don't tell me what to do. And I got very frustrated with that, and I became very unhappy with that. But like, in the past 2 years, I'm like, this is just our relationship. Like, it's fine. We both acknowledge that we love each other and care about each other. Unfortunately, we can't communicate in a very smooth way because of different cultural backgrounds, different value systems, different language barriers. It just all contributes to misunderstanding. But like, the fact that we're arguing means that we're still trying. And sometimes all you can do in life is just keep trying, and hopefully trying different things when you've figured out that that thing doesn't work. Do I bond with my mom on other neutral topics? About food, I guess. I mean, unfortunately, she doesn't have a lot going on in her life because she's still working. She's still taking care of my grandma. It's really high stress with COVID. She's basically like stuck in her house doing the same monotonous shit all day long, all year long, like probably all of us, most of us. And I feel bad that I can't lift that burden from her, and I feel her stress, and I feel the burden, but worrying about her doesn't help either one of us. So guilt is not productive. And Laurentia says that's probably why she's super up her butt too, because she has nothing else going on. And I actually really hurt her with my words, because I said that to her in my moment of anger. I was like, I think it's time for you to find something else to do with your life besides worrying about me 24/7. And she got very hurt by it, rightfully so. That was very hurtful for me to say. And she said, you know, I've been up all morning, I've been writing my own stuff for my own blog, and I've done a lot of things, and I'm about to go cook lunch now for grandma. I have my own things going on. And I was like, you're right, I'm sorry. She was like, there's no need to apologize for either one of us. I guess we just can't have a conversation. Yes. Wrigley, absolutely. You can't change your mom. Can you change your feelings so you're hurting less? What do you want to happen? That's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm trying to achieve here when I said, are we ready for some therapy? Because I can't change her, and I acknowledged that on the call. I was like, you know, this is your mode of being, and this is the kind of communication that I've accepted as natural for us now. She's not wanting to accept it. She thinks that us arguing and disagreeing is not healthy or good to have. She would rather not communicate with me than have those arguments. And I'm at that point where I'm like, I will deal with the arguments if this is what it means to communicate with my mother. I think just the fact that I'm talking about this now is a step for me to like try to realize that I do have this defensive tendency, to acknowledge it, and to try to make peace with it over time. And I'm gonna eat some of these peanuts that we got in LA. These are the ones from the Korean supermarket that looked super toasty and burnt. I tried a few, they're unsalted. Some of them do taste very burnt. But for the most part, nice toasty peanuts. Has anyone ever had these peanuts? Like, can you eat the shell? Because I find that the shells are not really fibers, they're like almost crispy now. You see what I mean? So are they cooked this way for you to eat the shell or not? That's not very tasty though. Oh, that's very astringent. Never mind. No, don't eat the shell. Hi Joyce, you missed out on a very therapy intense conversation, but welcome. You can eat the shells, they're just very fibrous. This one in particular was not because of the fibrousness, because they're very crisp. This one was because it was burnt and very astringent. Delicious. I love peanuts. Aaron loves to suck on the salt roasted ones. That's why we can't buy those for him anymore, because he will just like lick all the salt off. I think these are gonna taste really burnt. They're like really tiny and the shell was completely black, but oh yeah, we don't even need to bite. Look, I'm not eating that. That's really carcinogenic, I'm pretty sure. Look at this one though. Ooh. A big boy. Salt and pepper pistachios are so good. So I thought these were gonna have like more of a special taste to them, but they're just average roasted peanuts. Eh. I probably wouldn't buy these again. The roast is kind of uneven. There's like really burnt ones, which is the one that I just ate, where they're kind of bitter and coffee tasting. And then there's these, where they just look like untoasted. So if you like variety, I would say give it a try, but if I'm buying roasted peanuts, I want my peanuts roasted and not burnt. Hello, Francesca. How's Italy? Which part of Italy? They give out peanuts at Five Guys? Ooh, Rome. Tell me, do local Romans hate tourists? Because I felt like I was not very well received in Rome. My favorite city when I went to Italy with Aaron was Genoa. I love Genoa.
What was mine?
Venice?
No.
Florence?
No.
Where else did we go? was yours, Aaron?
Napoli.
Oh yes, Naples. I love Naples too. Naples is a close second. I mean, Naples has the best desserts. Oh. As a 6, they're used to take arguing as an indication of losing someone's love. That's good to know. Let's just assume that my mom is a 6. What else can I do with 6s? Chani, how did you like jicama? Aaron, do you want to taste the vegan yogurt now?
Not now.
Do you mind if I do?
Yeah, go for it.
I will say that when we went to Venice, I don't even know who the locals were. It was so overrun with tourists. Oh my god. Southern Oregon is on fire too? Fuck. The whole world is burning, guys. Did you see on my Instagram somebody asked me to repost the fires that's like ravaging through Greece right now? And I just felt like completely despondent because what's the point of reposting about another fire when they're just happening all over the place?
Get a bucket and you go to Greece right now, Jude.
What, Aaron?
Get a bucket and you go to Greece right now.
Aaron tells me that I get a bucket and I go to Greece right now with my bucket. Floods in Belgium. Apparently Germany is flooding too. Monsoons in Delhi. Great. Floods in Switzerland. Welcome to hell, guys. God is punishing us yet again. But instead of flooding us for 40 nights and 40 days to wipe out the entire world population, we're just gonna have it for 40 years. A slow punishment. I like how there's no pandemonium about this. Like, we have massive pandemonium about the pandemic, but no pandemonium about any of this. Can I open both and I'll just leave you some, Aaron? Alright, y'all. We got some oat milk yogurt, vegan. I really hate vegan yogurts except soy. I've never tried oat milk, but I think oat milk is like the new frontier of vegan dairy now. I also want to try oat milk based ice cream. I hear fantastic things. So we're gonna try these. Which one do you want me to try first? If you guys want to keep talking about the world falling down, that's cool too. I'm here for whatever you want. I've only had soy yogurt from Silk and I really liked it. I don't have vanilla, JG. I have strawberry hibiscus or cold brew. Oh, cold brew with vanilla. Got it. I like coffee. I just can't drink it because it had me spiked. I'm sorry. There is vanilla on the cold brew. I just didn't see it. My apologies, JG. I'm sorry. You guys are no help. No help. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, let's go with the fruity one first. I feel like it's lighter. So this one is strawberry hibiscus. Of course, you can't see because my resolution is shit. And 6-ounce serving size, 110 calories, 2% fat, 3% saturated fat. So this is a lot lower than whole fat yogurt. 7% carbs, 7% fiber. Interesting, fiber. 14% added sugars, which is 7 grams added. 12% protein. That's on average for a normal yogurt, not Greek. 2% calcium, so you're really lacking on the calcium front here. Ingredients are oat milk, which is water and whole oat flour. Faba bean protein, interesting. Organic cane sugar, strawberry puree, tapioca flour, coconut oil, concentrate for hibiscus and apple, strawberry natural flavor, hibiscus natural flavor, vegetable juice for color, agar, citric acid, live non-dairy yogurt cultures, S. thermophilus L. bulgaricus. Certified non-GMO project, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, nut-free, keep refrigerated. Pull here for some cultured facts. I'm trying both of them, guys, don't worry. We carefully select a broad range of non-dairy probiotic strains that deliver tens of billions of live beneficial. All right, whatever. Let's just try this. Shall we?
Counts all those.
What?
Counts all those.
Who counts them? Aaron asks. Wow, look at that color. It's not runny at all. It's moving as a solid mass. It reminds me of that like almond jelly texture that you get from Chinese restaurants as dessert. It smells like berry yogurt. It smells exactly like berry yogurt. Oh yeah. It's just like jelly. It's like, you can tell it's set with agar. That's exactly what agar setting looks like. Really wobbly. Yeah, too much agar and tapioca. I think you're right. Okay, let's give it a try. There's some juice that's leaking in the middle of there. You can see it. Why am I blowing on this? It holds teeth marks. Look at that. It's really tart. It reminds me of hawthorn berry. If you've ever had hawthorn berries, like hawthorn flakes, it's a little more astringent than a cranberry. Well, interesting. It does become very smooth as you chew it, so. Let me put a little bit in a bowl so that I don't contaminate it for Aaron. And let me see if I can smooth. Aaron says he doesn't give a shit. I give a shit, Aaron. I don't want my saliva dipped. It's really acidic. It's not like as sweet as I expected it to be. Let's try to give it a mix. This was the only oat milk yogurt that I found at Whole Foods. I'm surprised that not more brands are available right now. But maybe this is why. It does smooth out. It's still a little bit nuggety. Is this yogurt completely vegan? I believe so. Faba bean protein, coconut oil. Really sounds like they're going for a vegan vibe. Okay, you know, it's not runny per se, but it's smooth if you really have the patience to like stir it. Enneagram, Brie Elder. ENNEAGRAM. There's 3 separate layers of flavor here. The tart cranberryness, hawthornness of it strikes through with a little bit of sweetener, but not enough to make it taste sweet. It still tastes very, very like acidic. And then you taste like water. You taste wateriness. That's the second layer. And then the third layer kicks in and you get a little bit of like slight milkiness. But they're all very separate. I'm not really finding this very enjoyable. It's not terrible. And I think the reason why it reminds me of hawthorn berries is because it tastes a little chalky. It doesn't feel chalky, it tastes a little chalky. So, all right, cool. I'll put that one back. I haven't tried acorn jelly. What's acorn jelly? Well, I'm not vegan, but I just wanted to try this for fun. This is cold brew coffee with vanilla. This is 100 calories, so 10 calories less for some reason. 0% sodium. I feel like yogurt normally has sodium. So yeah, just comparing it with my Chobani full-fat Greek yogurt, there's 3% sodium in here. So interesting that there's no sodium in here. Also, the Greek yogurt has 6 grams of natural occurring sugars. This one only has 1 gram of natural occurring sugars. There's 7 total grams of sugars in here, 6 of which are added. So that's very intriguing to see. This one has 15% of calcium. So, okay, very interesting. Oh, these smell good, okay? They don't taste good, but they smell good. This smells like a wonderfully like milky coffee latte with a slight yogurty acidity to it. Okay, if I see Oatly, I'll try it. Thanks for the tip. Oatly is the best oat milk producer, I think. Everybody loves Oatly. Okay. Okay, well, this one fell apart a lot more readily. It's a lot softer than the other one, not as gelatinous. I wonder why. Okay. Right off the bat, this one is sweeter, for sure, than the other one. Even though I think they have roughly the same sugar count. Both of them taste so watery. It's so weird. You don't taste the wateriness until you chew it, until you open your mouth and aerate it. Like, I'm just gonna put this bite into my mouth and not open my mouth and just like chew on it with my mouth closed without aeration. Let's see. The texture is fine. But obviously if you don't aerate, you won't taste because a lot of your taste comes through your nose and your olfactory settings. But not a fan of this, guys. It's truly not creamy enough for me to want to eat it. It's like, I'm probably just gonna eat oatmeal. And that would be more enjoyable. This is not enjoyable for me. And I do not recommend mixing it. I would just say let your mouth do the chewing and it'll mix naturally as you eat it. Like, this looks disgusting to me. Nobody's gonna want to stir this until it's smooth, and then it just looks nuggety. Like when you're making a roux and your flour didn't disintegrate fully into the milk and it formed little nuggets. Unpleasant memories of cooking failures. Oh, so disappointed. It might be nice in a smoothie, sure, but oh well. My favorite vegan yogurt is still Silk soy-based yogurt. That is the only one I would willingly eat. I'm not trying to stop eating dairy. No, I love cheese too much. I don't know if I'm gonna eat more snacks. I don't know if I have any other snacks. Oh, well, Aaron opened this today, but I don't think he wants to be on camera.
I feel bad.
Yeah, he doesn't feel very good today. Crispy Thai chilies and sesame seeds from Trader Joe's. He said he likes it. He says this one is delicious, but he likes the Sichuan chili version better. I don't know if Trader Joe's has that available, but they're very big chilies. I was expecting smaller pieces, but they're like very long pieces. When am I getting high with y'all? I mean, probably at night when I'm showered and ready to just like roll around in bed. So maybe on a night when Aaron's not home, because he doesn't really like me streaming from the bedroom because it makes him feel like eyes are on him, which I totally understand. But I'm gonna try one of these. It might make my skin flare, but I just can't resist the little nuggets of sesame. Oh, punch straight to my nose. And the back of my throat. Woo! That piece had more sesame on it than chili too. Aaron, these are all yours. Oh my god.
That's not bad.
I just can't handle that kind of straight spice anymore. I went to like a Russian grocery store yesterday and I got Aaron these cookies. They're rum flavored, kind of like shortbready ones that are covered in powdered sugar. And Aaron loves these cookies. The store was called Net Cost. That's also where I bought the cheeses that I tasted on last night's stream. And this is product of EU. Very interesting that they don't go more specific than product of EU. I've never seen food say product of EU. Have you? I got him rum, and I also got him a mint version, which he has already opened, that I can't reach because it's so high up. Okay. He already put it into a container. That's the mint version. It smells super minty. He says he loves it. Fun fact, for all of these cookies, it was only 99 cents a bag. That bag was $1.59, so they're really affordable cookies. And they're kind of like soft and cakey with a little bit of like powdered sugar that kind of turns into an icing. Probably because the cookies are still warm while the sugar goes on, I'm guessing. But yeah, one of Aaron's favorite store-bought cookies. I'm not gonna eat them because I don't like how dry they are. They're kind of like dry and cakey. really good with tea or coffee. I don't have any new snacks for y'all. I think I ate all of our other snacks. But you don't have to tell me twice to eat these. Yes, I love these. Aaron last night was like, I can't believe there's still more than half of the bag left. And I was like, not if you open it now. I love these so much. And the little specks of seaweed add so much flavor. They're so good, guys. Alright, well, Aaron, do you want to go out now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go out with Aaron. We're gonna find some food. Maybe I'll record it for y'all. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming in for the therapy for me. And I don't know. I hope you had some fun watching me cry. Wait, let's go say bye to Fred.